All right, a good day to all. How we're doing, guys? Sam here with you. It's Wednesday the 15th, and we're going to take a look here. Well, you guys saw the polling. So we've got Cardano and Ripple both to the dollar by request here. Now, this is just first off, what a beautiful sight here. So I'm just over on TradingView, just looking through all the price. Look at just a sea of green. Just beautiful to see. Just all through the alts. You know, we've got Bitcoin now. You know, after the big move, starting to establish a new range, perhaps. At least we're staying in this range. What are we between? What's our low end here? 7,600 and 8,300. So as Bitcoin starts to build a base here and we move sideways, it lets the alts just fly here. As you can see, it's just everywhere. It's just beautiful to see. So first up here now. Now I'm on Binance, and let me show you why. So there are several sites like this. I just happen to like this one. So I'm over here on Coin Checkup, where I can just look at the volume. So I'm looking at the 24-hour volume here, and we can see a couple we wouldn't necessarily look at. But here's Binance here. So both Bitcoin and the dollar. So to the dollar tether here, it's 16 million shares, and you come down to something else where we might look here. Here's Bittrex, it's only 3.8. So it's just dwarfing the volume over on Binance. So it makes sense to get over there and look. So we don't have as much history here, but just looking at this on the way down here, there's a couple of interesting things. So we're not yet to any really significant resistance here. So if we just grab that last swing here, we can see there's likely to be some resistance as we come up to the 50 in the golden zone here. But there's some interesting things coming down here, going through this count. Now I've got an 8-hour here. Let me go down. Oh, let's go to a 3-hour here. Now this, we've of course looked at this many times, and there was always a little bit of a suspicion here that on my part here, that we had a truncated fifth, because it looked like we had 3, 4, and like we just didn't get the 5 down here. So I've often looked at this thinking, okay, truncated fifth. Well, we're going to use it's very slight, but this is the truncation that would have been the 5, and then working up into a 1, 2, and then going 1, 2. But upon closer look here, and now of course we have the benefit of all of this data. Well, this did stand out to me. So let me zoom in on here, and I think this helps us define where the wave 1 is, which is important relative to what we're pulling for the 2. And any fib projections that we're doing. Well, if you're struggling here, as I was thinking, well, now you look here and you go, okay, well, I could get a 1, 2. There is a 1 here. I can get the 2. We know there's an impulse here for, well, take a look at this. So if I just, standard ops, guys, if I just grab the 2 through the 3, that's just about as good as it gets, right? Golden zone, right? So note it breaks the 618, gets into the golden zone, boom. To the tick. All right, to the tick. All right, so reaction. Right, so how do we know it's an algorithm? It's not this. It's the reaction at the target. I mean, I got to be over. It's got to be over 1,000 times I've shown that. All right, got to be over 1,000. Right there, just nothing changes, guys. Right there it is. Right, just right in your face. Right. So that said, I think we can lean into the idea that we've got a good 1 here. Well, then we can get our ABC. Right? It's not the most gorgeous I've ever seen, but we can dig it out here. I'm on a 3-hour here, so you can see likely you're going to need to dig the 1, 2 out of that bar. I'm not going to waste any time here. So doing that. So from this here. All right, here's the slight front run. So it looks like this is a series of front runs. So slight front run on the 50, slight run on the target. Hard to say. That would be my assumption here. Looking at that, I can definitely get my ABC here. So I can get my A. So I've got my corrective wave going in here. So why is this important? Well, if this is our 1, 2, well then it affects how we go after the subdivision coming into the third here. So let me put this back into context here where we can see it. So if this is 1, 2, all right, so grabbing from the absolute low that I've just wicked off. So now this is interesting. So we get a very slight break here of the golden zone. Now from an Elliott perspective, we go, well, right? Doesn't invalidate, right? Anything from 50 to 786. Ideally, you'd like to see that hold so you knew you had more confidence that you had an algo behind you there. But for whatever reason, we're a little sloppy here. And then it looks like we're going all the way to fourth target here, which immediately makes you think, okay, well, I've got a solid contender here for a third. So let me get that so you can see it. Let's bring it down here. So that looks like a good contender for a third. And then, of course, I've got a nice impulse here. So if I look into that, so if I take the length of the one, so just using things we would do in any chart, doesn't matter. There, get that right on there. Okay. So length of the one projected from the two, well, here's high probability zone. We rip right through that, and we've got, the only thing I look here, I say, I'm not here, I'm not quite to the 2618, so I want to look there and see why are we stopping there. Typically, it's going to be a fib relationship, and I don't have it at the moment. But let's see if we can find it. So if I'm looking here, so of course I have all the benefit of this hindsight. We're going to get over to the hard right edge in here, but just give me a second here. So we go 786 to the tick. Now look what we do here. So here we know that's our shorthand, that negative 100 from this 1-2. That's going to be shorthand for the 1618. Now we've gone deep, so it's going to be beyond the 1618. So if I grab here, get it right on there, length of the one projected from the two. Okay, here's our high probability zone for the 3. Note it goes to the 175 because we went to the 786 here. So we go past the 1618, but we get right into that prime zone for our third. There's my little retracement, and then it looks like I go into I get the extension in the 5th. So now looking at that, let's pull that off. So if this is 1, so I've got a secondary 1 here. So always a good idea to wick these off. I don't need that yet. So I've got a pretty solid, you can just look here and see, right? So I've got a pretty solid base here of support that's been built. I'm just using the wave 1 pivots here, but that's giving me prior resistance now, potentially the support here, if we're even threatened, what if we don't quite make that? So I've got a count that's looks solid underway. So 1, 2, we can get this out of here. Just want to make that point. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Looks like that 5 is solid. So again, just standard up. So what are we going to do? From the bottom of the 2 through the pivot of the 3. Get it right there. What do we do? Right to the golden zone, just as we did on this one. We were a little sloppy here on the 2, but we are just spot on right there. So we get a nice fat target up here. Now, of course, when we can see this length of the 2 and we do a perfect golden zone, what does that give us? Of course, that sets up the golden corner pocket. Now, let me fix that so I don't need a modifier on that. So if I get this right on here, so there you go, right? There's the golden corner pocket, right? My favorite trade. So right into the golden zone, we know we have 80% probability, right? Always the caveat, I have to mention this. As long as this pivot holds, right, working from these 3 pivots, we have 80% probability of making the median line. Shit, we're going to hit it while I'm recording this. But here's the bigger target up here. So assuming we hold here, and we've got this correctly identified, 1, 2, 3. Now it's deep for a 4, no doubt about it. We get a little. It's kind of a funky A, B. Then I got to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get down to my C. Gives me my 4. It's deep, right? Granted, it's deep. So now we're looking. Let's go to the hourly here and see what this projection looks like. So it looks like I've got a fairly solid 1, 2. You can see the little A, B, C is in there. So let's just standard ops, guys, right? Same thing we always do, right? So here's the 1. We just tag second target. We come down here, so it looks like we tag so we get between the 50 and the 618. We just tap the Vegas wave. Now we're tagging second target here. Now we're going to get third. That would put us up here. Right? Interesting. Would be interesting to see if we can get this right on here. We can get that median line. I'd be very surprised if we don't. All right, puts it we're not too far from it. Just kind of lining these up, make sure I've got it spot on. That looks solid. Okay, so there we go. So be very surprised if we don't get there. But so this would be our 1618. So if we're going to stay strong here, that would be the next spot I'd be looking, which would be approaching this prior resistance level, which sets up the 3, the 4. I can get this down here, and then we've got potentially our 5 up here. Now, we don't have this yet, so we don't know if and when this, if it goes here, if it stops here, we could stop here. We don't know yet, so I don't have the pivot really to start projecting up here. I just have an algo target that I know, because I know what happened here. So I know software kicks in with this as a target. Now, when do we get there? Let's try the 2 hour here and scrunch this up a little bit. Well, this certainly looks like we've got an impulse underway here. Now we don't know for sure that it stays that way. So we wick off the one high. Sure looks solid, like we're just ripping here. So up for this 3. Let's let it get established and let's get a pivot there. Right now, well, you're too late for the buy. So right, always, right? We want to buy when it's retracing. We don't want to buy on a scream higher like this. So if you're not in, you're just kind of waiting. So we need to get the 3 in. So we need to get a pivot up here so we can start watching for that 4 to give us that 5. So there's, you can't buy it right there. You can, but I certainly wouldn't advise that, right? It's just the risk is too high, because where are you going to put your stop, right? Under the 2. So you kind of have to hurry up and wait if you're not in it. But keep in mind, guys, this is very, very encouraging relative to where we've been and the signs that now alt season is upon us, and we're starting to get some really significant movement in the alts. That's very healthy for the whole crypto space. So we want to see that. We don't really want Bitcoin just parabolic, right? So nothing spread against it can move. We want Bitcoin. See, alts do well when Bitcoin is steadily trending or moving sideways. When it's parabolic, everything gets crushed. So having been through that parabolic move, and now seeing alts start to go to light up as Bitcoin goes sideways, this is the ideal environment. So we want these impulses to get established. So we're not completely out of the woods yet here, but it's certainly going to look better, particularly for Cardano, if we can get this 5 wave completed, because then all we've done is complete a 1 wave. So if we go back out, let's go back to that 4. Put this in some context. Okay, so what are we doing? We're just trying to get an established 1 wave. So off of the low, this is our 1. We're going to look for our 2, 3, 4, and 5, all yet to come. Now let's get that up something meaningful. So this would give us a potential 1. So don't let the FOMO get the better of you, because eventually there's likely to be some sort of a retracement, right? It's not inevitable. Nothing is inevitable, but people give me shit for that all the time. I'm not saying it's inevitable. It's probable that there will be some sort of a retracement. Now, I don't have this. I'm just going to use this as my target. So I got to pull this all the way back. All right, so if this is my 1, I can anticipate likely some sort of a retracement. We want to buy it when it's going down. That sets up for the bigger 3. Now we're in full bull mode. All right, so the fact that this is underway and looks like it's got a good probability of completing, not certainty, but good probability, that gives us, so we just work backwards. So it looks better that this is our low, that 1, 2 is good, that 3, 4 is good. If we finish here, then we get more confidence in this being a good low. So you want to be patient here. Let this establish. Wait for the retrace. We know the prime zone here. So look where you're trying. So look where it is now and where you're trying to buy it. So if you just stay through all of that, and if we do the typical retracement of a completed impulse, well, you're going to have an opportunity to be a buyer down here potentially, right? Even if we only got a 38 on the 2 because the market was so strong, you're still buying it below where it is now. So just don't let the FOMO get the better of you. Let it go here. Now you will have the opportunity if you're dying to get long here, and I know people are really passionate about Cardano. This is hugely enthusiastic traders and followers and hodlers. So any opportunity here to get a retrace into the 4 to the 5, well, there's a trade there. But then you got to ask yourself, well, do I want to sit through the retrace? Now, maybe yes, maybe no, right? So it depends. Are you trying to accumulate? Are you trying to swing trade it? What are your objectives here? If you want to accumulate, well, fuck, you could just be buying now, right? So just ladder down. If it's going to retrace, be buying more. But do you want to trade it or do you want to accumulate it? Right? If you're trading it, you'd want to be looking to take at the very least partial profit here, anticipating a 50% retracement. Just fuel for thought, right? So you can trade this, bank it, let it retrace. I mean, again, I don't have this. This could go to. I have no idea where that's going. Right? That's my point being. Really, don't let the FOMO get the better of you here. Right? There's plenty of opportunity. If we're starting and this is our low, and we're just starting, there is so much upside here, guys. So much. Don't force a trade. Let it come to you. Let it set up the criteria that you're looking for. For me, I don't buy them when they're going up. I buy them when they're going down. I sell them when they're going up. So that's just me. Right? So you decide how you want to approach this. I mean, a lot of people will tell you the money made in crypto is through accumulation and holding. Right, that's an entirely different approach to what we're talking about here. This is how a trader approaches it. Right, this volatility is excellent. It's just what we want. Right, it's the long just side. Now we're starting to spark here, so everybody gets interested again. Right, so volume starts to pick up. How are we looking over here? So we've got volume picking up. Now you're going to see the ebb and flow of the RSI, of course. Right, we're not going to go straight. There's going to be lots of swing trading opportunity in here. But my broader point. No need for FOMO yet. None. Nothing. Let this come back down here. Right? If you want to be conservative, let it come down. Now here's the big buy. This is the one to be aggressive. Here, you're swing trading. Here, be a little more aggressive. All right, guys. Pretty straightforward count, really. Right? Not much to do here if you're not in it. So be patient. Right? Let it come to you. All right, back to you.